Welcome everybody to the Waco Annual Charity Open. This is round one front nine coverage presented by Prodigy Discs. I am Brian Earhart, joined here by Nate Perkins yet again. What is up, Nate?
Brian, we are on the shores of the Brazos River here in Central Texas. We've done a complete 180 from the style of course that we just played 2 weeks ago across the country in Las Vegas.
And we are jumping into a very specific style of woods. We have some great woods players here. We have Matt Orum from Alabama, Emerson Keith, Calvin Heimburg, and Thomas Gilbert. All very exciting players to watch. And on this list, obviously, a lot of familiar names. The one I like to mention is Devin Owens on this list. One of the best lefties potentially of all time, finally coming out of the woodworks after taking a little time off. But let's move into hole number one, 291 feet. They've removed the sponsorship wall from the right side to block any rollaways. What do you think here?
Well, we've got 22 to 28 mile per hour headwind, slight right to left, and so it makes that hyzer play a little sketchy because if you get it too high, it can get that wind up underneath it and sail across the sidewalk. Also, the woods that you see right in front of you are out of bounds. So if you hit that, you're re-teeing.
Yeah, so you're going to see these players trying to throw a hyzer spike that lands as softly as possible. Matteo's coming in with a little flatter angle.
And Matteo's not a name that we're too used to seeing. He can shred, Brian.
He has been good for a long time. And Calvin, obviously one of the premier distance throwers, but one of the best hyzer flip throwers I think I've ever seen as well. So we'll see what he does in these woods.
Oh, that looks great. Right over the top of the trees, penetrating forward.
Sit down. That is all OB on the right side. Came in with just a bit too much vertical angle. And that's the treachery of throwing that hyzer.
Emerson Keith has played exceptionally well at this event in years past. Native Texan.
Solid looking hyzer. And that has to sit down too.
Wow.
Okay.
Slight difference in those rolls. Really unfortunate to see Calvin stand up and roll like that.
Gilbert!
And here's another player that's known for his distance, but I love some of the touchy mid-range flippy shots that he throws. I'm kind of excited to see him play on this course.
I'm excited to see him throw his new plastic. Just transitioned to Prodigy. His first season throwing with them. Wow.
And there's that cut roll.
Yeah. So if you hit any higher on the hill, you're going to get the Calvin roll. Oh, what a putt.
Just going to stick it for par. One of the simplest looking opening holes, but it's not the easiest to birdie with the conditions that we always face out here. High left side for Matteo.
And guys, just to give you an example of how long Matteo has been an elite player, 16 years ago at the 2005 World Championships, he got second place.
Yeah, at 1,003 rated.
16 years ago.
And he's remained, I believe, above a 1020 rating ever since then. Jumping into the 1030s every now and then. It's impressive to have a player of his caliber just stay good that long. Steve Brinster also comes to mind as a player with such a long decorated career. And on the flip side, we have Emerson, who played 73 events in his third year touring. Unbelievable. Hole number two, par 4, 631 feet. Again, we are facing a ripping headwind. And it's just a power hyzer out to a flat spot, and then you're challenged with this protected. We have this basket with OB left, right, deep.
Couple trees to miss in the middle. Typically, we see players throw that hyzer around it, as Matteo just did. Anything past that tree that he's curling in front of right there is in prime position, I would say.
Smooth, flat shot out of Emerson's hand. Didn't quite get a flare. We'll see where he's at. He might be able to go over the road right.
Oh, he just misses it. Oh, wow.
That was huge.
Shows you just how hard Thomas is hitting it. He passed Matt. Matt shot in the air.
Yeah. See if Calvin can match. Checking up nicely.
Those are smashes.
Great ground play there for Emerson. He's going to be parked. And another thing to keep in mind, as Matty gets a perfect skip off the path.
Almost
Wow.
dunks it.
These players teed off early in the morning, which is explaining why the trees are not blowing sideways out here. They did have some winds, but later in the afternoon, the later cards got absolutely decimated by the wind.
It's a great point. This hole was playing extremely tough come 10, 11 o'clock.
Yes.
I've got to also note that the tournament was kind of expecting rain. Everyone was waiting for Friday and Saturday, wondering how much rain we were going to get. Kind of held off yesterday.
Just right for Calvin. He will settle for a par. Solid flick birdie there for Emerson. 2 for 2, not too bad of a start.
I know he came back to Texas with some fire underneath him after missing the cut back in Vegas.
Thomas will also go 2 for 2.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the support, through purchasing my Quantum Dracos from Millennium and my Halo Destroyers from Nineveh. Hope to see you again soon.
Hole 3, par 3, 320 feet, 4 or 5 different gaps to choose. There's not really a primary gap here.
Really depends on your throwing style.
That's
Just
one to beat.
clipped the one on the right.
I believe he was trying to go wide hyzer outside of that one. Players do like to go flat here. Emerson going for the same line Matty was going for.
Great drive.
Oh wow, you can tell it is quite a bit more calm than later.
Yeah, you can actually hear the birds chirping.
Wide hyzer is sometimes a play here as well.
Yeah, we have seen that kind of spiking hyzer in the past.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, going straight up the gut. And I'm not sure if anyone's hearing this beautiful bird song in the background. That is a falcon. Yeah, one of the fastest birds on the planet. Fun fact for you.
Yeah, there's a couple peregrine falcons nesting on hole 16.
Yeah. Nice birdie there for Thomas.
Three for 3. Great starts.
Especially heading into the wooded section of this course.
Calvin picking one up before heading into the woods.
Our warehouse manager, Dylan, is on vacation this week, so we decided to bring Heather in to keep things running at a high level. She's already had a huge impact on our crew, and overall, they've embraced the changes surprisingly well. We're really happy with how Heather is doing in this new leadership role.
Hole number 4, par 4, 441 foot, extremely technical par 4, very specific landing zone, Nate.
Yes, and this is where the course gets its name, the Beast, because of the dense rough.
And I'm noticing a lot of players are playing this shot this year. Just clips the inside, but that kind of slightly neutral to flippy putter or mid-range. Not biting off too much. There's Thomas doing exactly that.
Yeah, that tree, that big tree on the left right there that he just cleared, that one, if you're behind that one, there's no chance of scoring. So you need to get inside of it and still move forward.
And Calvin gets a great roll after hitting that inside bank. And that's, again, a blind shot to get to the basket for birdie, but it's a lot of trusting your depth perception on this one. And that's another great drive from Matt.
Emerson pretty out of position here. He's just pitching that Justice up and around the corner. Well, he's been rocking that same Justice for years now.
Long time. Calvin puts his to about circle's edge. And with that big drop-off behind the basket, you really have to trust your landing and your equipment here.
Yeah, it slopes right down to the river. Matty just stretched that A3 a little too straight. Oh, Thomas was way up around the corner. Anytime you're looking at this pin, you know you had a good drive.
Settling for par. And this one played a 4.17. This one definitely gave players some trouble. Bit of a misfire there for Calvin. You saw that flop nose up right out of his hand. It's an awesome drop-in birdie for Thomas, going 4 for 4 to start.
Interesting being back here in Waco. This was the tournament that the pandemic first hit.
Yeah, the tournament was cut to 2 rounds, and Colton Montgomery had a historic charge to win that tournament. It's nice to be back playing a full 3-round tournament here in number 5, uphill, par 3, 264 feet. What you see is what you get here.
Yeah, you slam it into that hillside, it's going to get the anti-skip. Oh, held on to that one. Fortunate little kick out.
I believe that's maybe an Explorer from Emerson.
Yeah, I think you're right, Brian.
He does like to opt to flick those, and that's a solid shot.
Displaying the touch right there with that Explorer. Oh no, that was on line.
There's a lot of those like invisible like low-hanging twigs that you can't quite see, or you're not even really thinking about lining up your shot.
Everything was right about Calvin's, maybe just a touch too high.
And Matt looks like he's just a little bit off on his release. One of the better touch throwers that I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, that curl, wrist curl, uncurl spin that he has out in front of his body.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of that modern throw with the old school kind of upward extension as you're bringing the disc back, and then he snaps his wrist downward.
Oh,
Sit down.
no. No, he doesn't even see it rolling, Brian.
And luckily he gets caught up in that
No.
bush. That could have gone a long way.
Oh, I hate to watch that.
And that is a rough bogey there.
Yeah, this one's certainly playing under par.
Elevator putt from Emerson. I'm not sure another type of putt would have stuck like that. His has so much spin on it that it almost forced its will upon the basket.
Yeah, so much hyzer too. So
Yeah.
it had half the disc was
Wow.
on the band and half was already in the chains.
He will definitely take that.
Yeah, we are on hole number 6 now. This is a little short par 3. It doglegs to the right as soon as you kind of get past that one tree. Forehand is usually the play for this hole. I know a few other players like go backhand flippy turnover with like a mid or something. Eagle McMahon does some crazy stuff and he throws a grenade up and over this tree right here. So that's not a line that really I don't think anyone can throw but Eagle, but I'm going A3 forehand just to kind of hopefully hook around this corner. Not too bad, a little low. I think I might try one more. Ooh, big skip at the end, but that's a little more like the line I wanted to throw with just that flippier first shot. Looks like a tricky putt. Maybe try, see if we can hyzer around this tree. Hey, let's go. 2 for 2. Oh, not quite. Dang. That was a sweet first putt though. Definitely be happy with that one in the tournament.
Number 6, as you saw, slow turnover downhill. The miss with the easier forehand play is throwing with too much pace and getting that huge flare skip past the basket. So definitely have to control the landing on this one.
Oh, I loved how that came out of his hand.
Just caught that high cabbage yet again with those trees.
This is another hole where there's one gap. There's no getting lucky. It's through the main gap. As I say that, Thomas,
As you get proven
Thomas
wrong.
just misses the left gap and gets down there and stops
Yes,
for a putt.
he's got a nice 20-footer there.
Eating my words.
Calvin going for a little lower flare. Just outside C2, I believe.
The gap's probably only 10 or 12 feet across.
Yeah, not big at all. Surprised to see all forehands, especially from Matty O being one of the more premier nose-up kind of turnover throwers with the backhand. It is more about hitting the gap if you're not confident. Just outside C1.
Matty O loves to call that shot the finger pop.
It's kind of a southern slang for the forehand that I've really enjoyed over the years.
downhill, maybe 50 feet. Wonder if he's still going to get the nose down with it being this.
He's going to have to.
downhill. Oh, wow. It
I
looked
thought that was
so
right
good.
on line.
He knew right away he didn't quite get the pop he needed.
Nice putt there from Matty-O. Such a unique, authentic, like really wristy spin putt. And sometimes we'll just go straddle spin putt too, which is another unique release.
From way up high, too.
Yeah.
I've always noticed that. He's upper chest, near his neck even sometimes when he's releasing.
I noticed there was a couple years when Seppo Paiu was switching to a putt similar to that as well. Very high release, kind of flexy spin putt. Very authentic.
Ooh, another one. Kind of getting that top band right there. Notice that tree right behind the basket? It somewhat plays like a bunker. If you're behind that, you don't really have a putt.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching Gatekeeper Media, and I wanted to let y'all know that I have this new stamp coming out. I'm going to have it on a bunch of different molds. If you would like one, reach out to me on my Instagram. My tag is @Emerdaddy64, so just hit me up on Instagram. Hope you enjoy the rest of the round.
All right, hole 7, par 4, but only 429 feet. Really just need to get one out of that gap, and the basket will be sitting right in front of you on this hillside. We have seen players attempt this one in the past.
Yeah, powerful flex sidearm has been done. Rough kick from Thomas. He's going to be scrambling for a 4 from there.
Beat it.
And
Oh,
that's
just
a
does.
beautiful shot from Matty-O.
Center cut, just going to have a little chip hyzer into the green. Just kind of hoping Emerson would go for it with that forehand of his, but
A simple birdie is also fine. This is a hole that we've seen Germ routinely have a run at with his style of forehand. And that'll work.
Good play though.
and you can see just how quick the birdie is taken out of play. I mean, if you don't hit the gap, you're likely not in position to go for the birdie. Stable up.
Oh, kind of a rough approach there from Calvin. Usually kind of his bread and butter distance.
It's one of those where it's right in front of you, but there's enough, and it's only, I mean, maybe 8 feet of across, completely clean. There are some branches kind of hanging in that gap right there.
And this is one of the big benefits of being such a powerful, like, throw spin putters. These approaches from, like, 150 are a lot easier.
Yeah, not everyone on the tour is jump putting like Thomas
No.
just did.
No way. Solid birdie putt from Calvin.
There he is.
There he is.
Tough spot to be right there, low left on this hole. Hard to tell just how steep it is up those stairs.
And that's going to be another birdie for Emerson. Takes him to 5 under par. And Thomas is also going to save par. 5 down through 7 on this front 9 is solid. And another thing to note is the pars on this course have been adjusted over the years, so we have seen Paul Macbeth shoot 18 under, but it is a little tougher to do that now. Hole 8, 213 feet, very technical 213. You're either throwing some sort of slow flip-up sidearm that slides forward, or you have to throw a very technical hyzer flip backhand.
Wow.
And that's a very
perfect.
neutral disc that Emerson just flicked. Great shot.
I like to think of this one as the knuckleball hole. You barely want that disc spinning.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs a few rotations to get through the gap.
Yeah, if you go a little...
Oh, no.
That's the common miss. Yeah, you hit the ground on this tee shot, and you're hoping to just slide up to the basket. If you hit too far forward, there's a huge drop-off behind, and there's a lot of brush right behind that.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, Brian. I could watch that on repeat.
And there's that little slide we were talking about. Beautiful looking shot, but did slide about 30 feet after it hit the ground.
Oh, he's going to have a tester. He's putting straight downhill. This is a death putt. Sit.
And kind of the first real blemish of Thomas's round. That's going to be a 4 on the shortest hole of the course.
No. It kind of does something to the mind when you work so hard on the longer holes and then you take a higher score on the shortest hole on the course. No.
Just left out of the hand of that Prodigy basket. Does not like those outer edges.
I mean, he was even like diving down into the basket.
And Emerson's going to move to 6 under par through 8 holes. That is the pace you want to be on. We're going to move into number 9, probably one of the toughest par 4s on the course. 519 feet, but you have to blast a low ceiling tunnel shot to this bowl, and then we dogleg right around the corner to this basket with a protected green that slopes hard right with roots everywhere.
And you had just mentioned, oh, this is laced. Miss him. Okay.
He's still a decent spot.
He's still in position. Anywhere down in this bowl, if you have a forehand, you're in position to approach this green. Oh. And you had mentioned before, Brian, that the par was adjusted. This is one that traditionally has been a par 5 and scored as a par 5, and now it's a par 4.
It's a par 4.
Nothing changed.
Averaging a 4.4 on the day.
Okay. That's not as high as we've seen it in years past.
So you see the par, but then you also think to yourself how many players in this field are going to eagle this. Almost none. So it's definitely a good par to get. Still scoring about a 4.5 as a par.
No. And this is why it's one of the most memorable holes on this course, is because if you hit and you get off into this rough, two pitch outs just to get back to the fairway right there.
And he still has no shot to get to this basket still.
Oh, and he's going for it. Oh, that's a fortunate little
Oh, yeah. That's an
kick out right there.
extremely fortunate
I would say that's
roll.
a pretty greedy attempt right there from Thomas to try and get one around the corner.
Definitely happens when you are pitching out twice. And you're feeling like you have to catch up at this point. Here's forehand roller from Matty O.
No.
Not a bad shot to
Wow,
be
It curled back toward the bowl.
rolling into the bowl there.
Oh, this is pretty pinched. Beat him. Oh. What?
Wow, still snuck up into circle one.
What a shot from Calvin.
And here's Emerson, this looking at the green
There's
here.
that Explorer again. Oh, and it
Yeah, he
sneaks
got it.
through that right side. He's going to be looking at a birdie 3. Emerson's hot right now, Brian.
And as he's very hot right now.
Oh, that would have been quite the 5 from Thomas.
Yeah, Emerson just doesn't look stressed right now. Looks like he's throwing his flick really well. He's controlling the neutral discs. His discs are landing softly. And he's putting. Which has been kind of one of his woes in the past, is just the streaky putt. We saw that, in Vegas, and that's got to sit down.
Oh, yes.
There's a solid
Right.
par save from Calvin.
4 is good here.
4 is fantastic. 4 is beating the field by almost a half stroke. Confident comeback putt from Emerson.
Ooh, yeah, he pushed almost circle's edge right there after that air ball left.
And that's going to be the double bogey 6, I believe, from Thomas.
Bogey on the last one, double on this one. All of a sudden, he's back to 2 under after starting 5 through 6.
And as Matt Orum taps out his bogey to move to 1 under, that is going to do it for our front 9. Emerson is still on a tear. Thomas just tailed off at the end of this round, or this 9. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media, and we will see you on the back 9. A lot of new names up here on the leaderboard. Exciting.